everybody. This is Daniela with the Colorado SecureSavings program. I really want to thank the Pueblo Latino Chamber for having us this morning to give you all folks information about the state retirement program that's officially launched in full swing this year. So we're going to go ahead and share my screen and go through this PowerPoint that'll hopefully answer all your questions regarding the state retirement program. So people wonder, what is it all about and why is it needed? Well, we know that with increased cost of living, it's going to be more important now than ever to start saving. They did studies with the governor's office, and they noted that around 1,500 people get paychecks with Social Security once they retire. And we know now that that's not enough to retire comfortably and basically maintain the same standard of living as you are today. So this was a way in which the state looked at ways to provide an added benefit for employers and business owners to give their employees the option of providing a retirement program for their businesses. So this talks about the current situation in Colorado. About 40% of people in Colorado currently do not have access to a retirement program. This is looking at the private sector. So that's a pretty high number. As this mentions, it's almost close to 1 million workers who don't have this possibility to save for their retirement. It could be because the business doesn't want the added cost, which can add up, or it's a startup and they're just starting off the ground. So it's really important to look at the statistics in our state and see how we can close that equity gap and provide people with more benefits. So this mentioned what I mentioned earlier about the Social Security and the cost of living. Also, we want to mention that pension plans are becoming less popular, which are those defined benefit plans. They're usually more for school teachers and people who work for the public sector. That would give folks, a certain amount per month that they get in retirement. So that was nice, but it's becoming less popular. So when people retire, most of the time they're in charge of their own money. We also have an increase of folks retiring at a large amount. So this is creating a lot of economic stress for the younger population to help maintain that benefit for the older folks. Now, you might wonder who this program falls under, and it's for people that have 5 or more employees in the business. So if you're yourself part of the business, let's say you have 4 employees and you yourself are number 5, if you're putting in any time to your business, you count as one of the 5 employees that this program qualifies for. It's also for businesses that have been officially registered for 2 years or more. So we want to give that leeway for businesses that are just getting off the ground. It's also because of age requirements. It's for employees that are 18 or older. Sometimes you might be a restaurant owner and you employ 16 or 15-year-olds. Since they're still under like the parents, they do not qualify for this, but once they're 18, they can. And it's pretty easy and simple to use, which we'll continue talking about in the next few slides. So since this is a requirement, meaning that the state legislature passed this requirement that business owners have to provide a retirement program if they have 5 or more employees and they've been in business for 2 or more years. There's ways, of course, to be exempt from this requirement. And that's if you are a business owner and you are already providing these plans already. So any 401k plans, any of the ones listed here in the slide, a simple IRA, of course, and a traditional pension plan, and a few others here. So if you have one of those plans, you do not need to participate in a requirement. Then if you do get a notice from our office, you would just go on to our website and you let them know that you're already exempt, and there would be an exempt information on the flyer you would get in the mail. So basically, the state wanted to roll it out based these notices that will go to the business owner's mailbox based on the number of employees. So the state really wants to give the smaller businesses a longer time to figure out how they're going to provide a retirement program for their employees. We wanted to start ahead. We started in January of 2023. That's when this officially became a website and people could register onto this platform. Then we give business owners a year from now till February of 2024, now a little less, until penalties start. Of course, the state wants to help business owners, so there'll be a few flyers in the mail going out to let them know that this is coming down. So the nice thing is that it's automatic enrollment. So if you do decide to do the state option, it's very easy to use on our website. The employees are not required to keep it. They can opt out at any time. It's just the employer needs to provide it. But if you as an employee want to opt out at any time, you're allowed to do so. Of course, as the state, we don't have the financial background to be the ones to uphold this. So we hired a vendor, Vestwell. They're out of New York. They are our system administrator. And then we also have an investment manager, State Street and BlackRock. State Street manages people's funds. They are the ones that have the target date funds that help us. And with any like investment questions, we have a customer line that people can call in and ask about how their investments are doing. If they want to change it, they can call State Street. And also they're able to help with the bilingual aspect. So we have a customer service line also in Spanish, I believe in French as well, and a few other languages. So the main ones, I think over 10 of them, they have help that they can provide assistance to employees if they feel comfortable in a different language. It's also the nice thing about the Colorado SecureSavings program. It is free to the business owner, and you might ask why, and that's because there's no match. So the way the legislature was written, we have questioned several times of, but hey, I do want to provide, but you are not allowed because there's no match. That's just the way the legislation was written. So if anyone at some point wants to change it, they can go and talk to people in the state capitol. But for now, it's just the way the research they did. It was the simplest way for business owners to cut back and not be able to spend extra money on retirement. So we make sure it's free to the business owner to provide this option. So the biggest hurdle we found in 2019 for employees issuing a retirement plan. So that's what I mentioned is like the fees and of a private plan. That's why the state one is free, and also different ways to explain our program is simple. And we had pilot participants who've looked at our website and they've seen how quickly you can enroll your employees. It's 10 to 15 minutes roughly to first upload the employee roster and be able to be part of our program. So we also looked at the time it takes for a retirement program to be administered, and we wanted to keep that short time and also simple for businesses to use through our website. So if you do decide to go with our state option, would be the 3 steps you would take in order to be able to enroll into it. So step 1 would be you just go to our website, you register your business, you let us know that your business exists in the state of Colorado. Step 2 would be to upload that employee roster. So if you have an Excel document, it's super compatible to just upload that with everyone's names. That way you can easily get access to those employees onto it. And then you update it is the third step through the payroll providers. We have several payroll providers we work with through our system administrator, Vestwell, who can help include that payroll information. And once you have payroll, you can either do it through the payroll system or through your business. So basically, this just talks about what to expect. So for the employee standpoint, it's a Roth IRA, meaning that the same rules apply for a normal one. You can contribute up to $6,000 a year. You cannot go over that. That's IRS rules. But it's nice because it gives you the same benefits as a Roth IRA. So you can take out the money whenever you want, only the gains you would be taxed for. So since it's post-tax Roth IRA, it means that it's already taxed on that paycheck. So it's nice because when you retire, you won't have to pay taxes on this retirement program, right? Like you would just have that money you got from saving all the years, and that would be your money. If you decide to do our program, it's 5% of the employee salary goes per paycheck into this. So it's completely the employee's money. If they want to increase it to 7% or more, they can. They would just call us. And then if they want to lower it, they can also to 3% or 1%. Or if you have folks that are not right now in the mindset of saving, they can opt out. So the employee really has control of their own money. The nice thing is it lifts the fiduciary responsibilities from the employer, meaning you do not give advice on retirement to the employee. It's less liability for the business owner, which is really nice. And all you do on the responsibility of the employer is register your business and then enroll your employees. That's really it. From there on, payroll will automate this plan for you, so you don't need to worry about it. And employee can decide and go to financial institutions for advice regarding what they want to do with their money. On the saver side, we're going to talk about the mailing. So I mentioned that a lot, like you would get notified in the mail. So I know there's been like some business owners who wonder, does this law apply to me? And we say, if you do not get a mail from us, a flyer in the mail regarding your business, you do not need to deal with our program at all. So this is only strictly if you're getting email or a mail through us notifications that, hey, we know your business exists. Please provide a retirement program to your employees. This is the only time you need to act. Meaning perhaps you're a young business, you haven't hit 2 years yet, you don't need to worry about it. So yes, so if you don't hear from us, then do not worry about this law. And it has more information on our website, which is provided a few times here, coloradosecurSavings.com. We can also put it in the chat at the end. But yes, this is the main information we want to let people know, because a lot of business owners are asking, they're nervous about it. We say, don't worry about it, only if you get this notice in the mail. And in terms of saving, what happens if the employee does want to do it? The first 30 days, it goes into a money market, meaning it's like in between, right? It's not yet invested. The employee can decide to do nothing. If they do nothing, it automatically defaults into a target date fund, which in financial world means it's the one that goes into the stock market. It's the most common one that is for retirement programs. If you want to change it to like global equity or different other investments, you're welcome to do so through our call center, through the investment manager. And then this just talks about the normal contribution rate, how it normally works. What we mentioned earlier about a normal Roth IRA, it's really the same rules. And then we also want to make sure it's easy for the saver to be able to go on our website. Let's say you own your own business. You own your own jewelry store and you're only 2 people. Of course, this does not pertain to you, this law, because it's 5 or more. But if you're curious and you want to provide this state retirement program to your business, to yourself, you can. You would just voluntarily opt in. So people who have less than 5 business owners per hand, perhaps you own your own landscape business and it's 4 employees, you are allowed to enroll. It's just voluntarily. If it's 5 or more, it's the business owner's responsibility to enroll the employees. If it's less than 5, 1 to 4, you yourself have to go on our website and do it yourself. But again, it's like 10 to 15 minutes to enroll. Really straightforward and simple. We have a bilingual option as well on our website for Espanol. And that way we are making it more inclusive for people to join our program, as well as if you have the EIN number and just the EIN number, you are also welcome to be part of this program. Your information will be secure at the Treasury database and not go to any other. It is private information that we do not share with other business organizations. It stays just with the system administrator that's Vestwell. They help us manage this program since they have the financial and retirement expertise. The voluntarily one is what I just mentioned. Those are more for seasonal and 1099. So like ski resorts or like summer, restaurants that are only maybe pop-ups, they can also voluntarily participate, but are not required. And this is more about the important points. We just want to recap that the penalties will not start until 2024. It's $100 per employee, capped at 5,000. But we want to make sure we address this law before. So we really do not want to penalize any business owners. We want to educate people on financial education and help them be more successful at saving. At the end of the day, the business owner just has to provide a retirement program. It does not have to be the state. If you want to go ahead and do a 401k private option, you're welcome to. But if you want to go with the state, you're welcome to do that as well. The only responsibility for the business owner is to provide a plan, and then the employee can decide if they want to keep the plan or not. So of course, they can opt out of our program or anything else. And thank you very much for this presentation. I will put this website, it's coloradosecurSavings.com, and happy to answer questions, or if you need more information, you're welcome to reach us on that website. Thank you. Yes, Felipe.
Thanks for the presentation, Daniela. Really good information. Like I said, it's definitely a lot. It's evolved since the last time we had this presentation done, so it's very much appreciated. I did have a couple of questions I wanted to ask. One of them, I think it was just a typo, but it had been on the slide that it was a $6,000 annual contribution to the Roth. And then in 2 slides after that, I believe it said that it was up to 6.5 or 6,500. So is it staying in line with whatever the limit is contribution wise as what the IRS is stating? So like for 2023, for example, it did go up to 6,500.
Yes, thank you for that clarification. I also made sure to just double check, and it is 6,500 because it did go up in 2023. So we'll make sure to update the slide.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure.
And it says the Roth IRA contribution limits for 2023 is 6,500 for those under 50, and an additional $1,000 catch-up contribution for those 50 and older.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for that. That was really helpful.
Yeah, and so during the setup from the employer side, what information is being submitted for the employees? Is it all of their identifiers, social security number or EIN number, date of birth, full name, legal name?
Yes, so it's the common information that would be if you started a new job. So yes, those information would be going to Vestwell. They can also just do an EIN number and that would be fine. And then an address, so like payroll can verify that it's their money and that they can contribute to it.
Okay. I just got a few more.
Of course, this is great.
And so you had put on the one of the slides that it mentioned that there were notifications being sent out to every business. And so with the parameter of 5 or more, 2 years or longer, is it still going out to every single business, even if they don't fit that category?
It is only going to those that fit that category. And thank you for reminding me to mention um, five or more means full-time or part-time. And how the state defines part-time is if you work for the business 180 days or more, you count as one of the five. So if you work less than 180 days per calendar year, this is not required for them. But yes, that's the flyers are only going out to those folks because they're the ones that the law applies to. But of course, this retirement program is open for all Colorado employees. And if you have out of state employees, they do not count as the count. It has to be folks that are working either for Colorado or in the state of Colorado, which is nice.
Okay,
And
so people that live in the neighboring state come here for work and then go home, that they don't count.
correct, it would
Okay,
be unless their business is registered in Colorado, then that's
okay,
where it gets a little iffy. But the nice thing is, these accounts are also portable. So let's say I work at a coffee shop and I want to go work for a brewery. I can take that account with me. It rolls over to my next job, like it's my retirement program. So that's the best part about it all is like you don't have to deal with, oh, I got to close the account and roll it over. It stays with you.
all right. I seen on one of the last slides auto enrolled for savers, and so it is a voluntary program, right? So if I'm trying to make sure I understand this correctly, so I'm explaining it correctly. When an employer signs up their business, everybody's automatically enrolled. Is that what that auto enrollment is?
Yes.
And then the
Yes.
saver has the opportunity to go in and say, wait, hold on, I don't want to be a part of that for whatever reason that they want. It could be because they already have something or they just don't want to do one, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then my last question.
No, this is great. Keep it coming.
Yeah, I've been looking at the website and I'd seen the fee structures that were embedded into or as actually added in as a separate sheet.
Mhm.
And I was wondering, so I see the account fee that's on there for $22. That's a flat fee, regardless of however much investment is amounts are in the investments that chosen, right?
Mhm. Yes, that's annually. Most retirement programs have small fees that take
Yes.
out from the employee, but yes, it's not on the employer.
And so in total for the fees that what the savers are looking at, you have the annual fee, the investment fee, which is pretty standard for everybody.
Mhm.
There is, I did see on their program administration fee. Is that going to BlackRock and Streetwell, the ones that you mentioned, or
It
where is
goes
that?
to Vestwell. They're the ones
Best
in
Wells.
charge of like having all the accounts. Mhm. Yes.
Okay, so they're the ones that are receiving that administration fee.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we just want to remind people that it's even though there are these fees, these are typical for a retirement program, and for the business owner, it's still free to like uphold this retirement program because there's no match. So that's what we mean when we say free, not necessarily to the employee, but for the employer to like enroll and register, it's free.
Okay. And there was another one. I had seen it before. I don't see it now. I'll actually look for it and send it to you in an email, but it was regarding some more of the fee structure. I had seen it in probably like a month ago whenever I was looking at this prior, that there was a almost like an introductory rate on the fee schedule. And then after a set number of months, or I think it was 36 months or 3 years, I couldn't remember how that was stated, but then there was going to be an
Mhm.
increase in the fee structure. Does that sound like something that's familiar to you?
I cannot speak on that, but I am looking on the website and I'd be happy to follow up with you that on an email to
Okay,
make
yeah,
sure I give you the correct information. I don't want
yeah,
to
and
give
I'll look for it again. Like I'd seen it a month ago, and then I went looking for it this morning, and I ran out of time because I got busy with other things. So, but I'll
you.
look for it. I'll look for it again as well, and if I can find it, I'd love to take a screenshot of it and send it over and say, you just make sure that I'm seeing everything and understanding it correctly.
Yeah, I just checked the website too. I don't see it. up. But yes, I can follow up with you separately.
Okay,
That'd be great.
awesome. Those were my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Felipe stole pretty much all of the questions I was going to ask. The only question I have, so the $6,500 limit that the IRS sets, is that in total, or is that only what the employee could contribute? Does that also include the employer match?
There is no employer match, so it's the total.
Total? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so that's the individual contribution limit, Noah. So yeah, there's no program match with the CSSP. How if you were to do a private one, the employer match isn't included in that 6,500.